the 2019 NCFCA competition season. Whether you're new to NCFCA or are a seasoned veteran, we are excited you're here. The goal of this short video is to highlight a few of the most important details related to attending a tournament and get you off to a smooth start this season. Several aspects have been changed or updated for 2019, so please ensure that every member of your family who will attend tournaments views this tournament orientation. During check-in at tournament, you will be asked to confirm that you've watched it. This video is not designed to be comprehensive. For all the specifics you need to know, please be sure that you have located and read all relevant information in the League Handbook available in the Resource Library on ncfca.org. It has all the information you will need along with contact information for any questions you have. So, before it's time to leave for the tournament, check the schedule of events for your tournament. You can find this by clicking on the name of the tournament you are attending under the Information tab. Note the check-in time and plan some margin for travel delays so that you arrive on time for check-in. Remember that your registration is your commitment to participate for the entire tournament. If you find that you will not be able to fulfill your commitment, notify the registrar at ncfca.org as soon as possible. Check the parent or chaperone and additional name tags tab to ensure you have listed everyone in your family who is attending the tournament. All students, regardless of age, are required to have a parent or chaperone at the tournament at all times. Remember that if a chaperone is attending in place of a parent, he or she will need to meet the designated chaperone criteria or have been approved for an exemption by the Director of Forensics. They'll also need to be in possession of a signed medical release from the parent. See page 17 of the League Handbook for details on chaperones. Check the confirmation list for accuracy. You'll find the confirmation list under the Important Links tab on the tournament dashboard. Please check to be sure all the information listed is correct. If you find an error, notify the registrar right away at registrar@ncfca.org. Pack what you need. It's so easy to leave a belt or shoes or your script at home. Be sure you've double-checked and that you have everything you need before you leave for the tournament to avoid unnecessary stress. A short list of items to bring include food, if you did not pre-purchase meals, water, speaking dehydrates you, so bring more than you think you need, and consider bringing reusable water bottles or coffee mugs as an option to save on plastic and reduce trash at the facility. All required components for script submission, including script submission forms if you have an interpretation or platform speech, should be brought to the tournament. And ensure that you have complete tournament attire. Check all the pieces at home to ensure compliance before each tournament, and be sure each piece makes it into your suitcase. Veteran speakers and debaters will tell you there's no need for those last-minute runs at Walmart if you just check ahead of time. A good way to keep up with the things you bring is to label all your belongings with your name and your phone number. Take time to review NCFCA tournament policies in the League Handbook on pages 17 to 23 and pay particular attention to our safety policies. NCFCA works diligently to be proactive in keeping our children safe. To do this, we have enacted a few practical applications. The more than two rule. Students should not enter a competition room where there is only one adult present. A parent should not enter a room where only one competitor is present. Please wait outside the room until other judges or competitors have arrived. Open doors. Keep the door to competition rooms open before debate begins and when it ends, and between speakers for speech. Identification. Everyone in attendance needs to wear the name tag provided for you at check-in. Tournament boundaries. Listen for specifics from your tournament coordinator or regional director about space at each facility that is available to NCFCA. Consider all other space off limits. Adult supervision. Children under the age of 12 need to be involved in a specific tournament-related activity or under the direct supervision of their parent or other designated adult. Personal responsibility. We all have the responsibility to promote and protect the emotional and physical safety of all participants. If anything unsafe, unusual, or concerning happens, please bring it to the attention of a tournament official right away during the tournament. The Code of Conduct is new this season and can be found on page 20 and 21 of the League Handbook. You'll find that the list specifics simply fall under the guiding principle of the League: respectful, God-honoring communication that demonstrates respect for ourselves and others. Please remember that this list was not designed to address every potential issue, but instead provides you with some of the most practical aspects of expected tournament behavior. If you have specific questions, ask your regional director or the director of forensics. Let's talk about the dress code. The specifics of our tournament attire are outlined in this chart from page 19 of the League Handbook. I've mentioned the League Handbook several times already. With a brand new format this year, you have the ability to simply pin this document to your home screen on your phone and have instant access to much of the information we're covering in this video. Now that we've covered pre-tournament preparation, let's discuss what you can expect at the tournament. Check-in period. Keep in mind that tournament check-in is a mandatory part of your tournament attendance. If you're going to be late or have an extenuating circumstance, reach out to the tournament contact as soon as possible. If this season is your first time competing with NCFCA, welcome! At your first tournament of the season, we'd invite you to attend our first time family reception, usually just before check-in starts. You should receive an invitation by email about a week before your tournament as well. But if for some reason you do not, please use the contact information on the tournament page to let us know. Your whole family is encouraged to come. This welcome will include great information, including an introduction to key tournament staff and an overview of the schedule and facility. At the time designated on the schedule, every competitor must complete check-in with their parent or chaperone. This process includes several stations that can be visited in any order. Once completed, you are free to leave the facility unless the schedule indicates any additional activities. Please note that tournament check-in in the past has included a 2-hour window to arrive, but this is not the case for this season. You will need to arrive within 45 minutes of the posted check-in time. We are working hard to streamline the process and limit the time required for tournament staff to wait to process the information received. We think you'll appreciate the changes. Once you arrive, you'll see one station is for event check-in. At this station, competitors will confirm the events for which they are registered and provide on-site contact information for themselves and their parent or designated chaperone. Students will be asked to sign the NCFCA ethics statement. Parents or chaperones must be with each of your competitors when they compete event check-in. Another station is for script submission. If you're competing in a platform or interpretation event, you'll have to submit your script. This submission includes the actual typewritten script, a script form, and any other required documentation. You can find all of these requirements along with event rules in the NCFCA resource library. On the morning following check-in, all parents, chaperones, competitors, and siblings will attend the tournament kickoff. This session is the most important gathering of the tournament. Why? You'll hear tournament-specific information about the schedule, the facility, your meals, and meet your tournament leaders. We'll also set the stage in our minds to the appropriate place by focusing on God's Word. Tournaments are a unique experience, so let's talk a little bit about parent expectations. Every parent or chaperone must remain on site and actively participate throughout the tournament. Having enough adults on site ensures that we have adequate supervision and tournament support. Parental participation includes several options to volunteer, so listen and consider what option you might be interested in participating in. Parental participation includes several options to volunteer, including staff. Running tournaments requires a significant amount of volunteer staff. Take a look at the list of tournament areas that need coverage, and if a particular area piques your interest, indicate that interest to the tournament contact. Judges. One of the primary ways parents serve is by judging. In order to be prepared to judge effectively, once per season, each parent must view both the speech and debate judge orientation training videos. These videos will be available to watch during check-in and throughout the tournament, or you may watch at your convenience in advance. Even if you're an experienced NCFCA parent judge, we'd encourage you to listen very carefully to this training. These short video productions detail not only the mechanics of judging, but much of the philosophy behind what we hope to accomplish with our competitors. There are several changes to documentation and process this year, so it will serve you and your competitors well if everyone invests time to prepare. Judge philosophy. Let's take a minute to talk about NCFCA's judge philosophy. Our goal for our competitors is for them to be able to learn to communicate effectively with people from all walks of life and to share well thought out ideas in a way that is God-honoring, gracious, and eloquent. For this reason, we look for a varied judge pool to give feedback. That pool is made up of judges who are new to NCFCA and those who are very familiar with our competition. We also look for a combination of folks who are very knowledgeable about the topics presented and those who may not be. This means that everyone is a perfect fit for some ballot in one way or another. While we want feedback from all types of judges, those most familiar with NCFCA philosophy like parents, coaches, and alumni bring a very unique element to the judge pool. That is part of what makes your participation so valuable. In the real world, when someone has a strong message but does not deliver it well, the important message is not received. Or if someone has a flawless and even winsome delivery, but there's no value in his message, it's a waste of time and a missed opportunity. Our students will remember that the key to effective communication is a balance of both style and substance, providing both a valuable message and a strong and winsome delivery. As you judge, keep this balance in mind and consider this as you work through each ballot and evaluate and give feedback to our competitors. Parents, because your input is so valuable and because serving our students is a team effort, we need each of you to come to the ballot distribution table 30 minutes before every round. That does not mean that you will need to judge every round, but we need you to be available. You'll also help us keep the tournament on time by completing and turning in your ballots in a timely manner to be available to judge the next round. When you arrive at ballot distribution and are choosing a ballot, keep in mind that you may not judge a room where your own student is competing or judge other relatives. Look for the ballot where you have the least amount of personal connection to the competitors and allow the ballot distribution team to ask questions to determine whether you are a suitable fit. Knowing the names of competitors or having judged a student in a different event does not exclude you from judging. If a student regularly spends time in your home or you've coached them in that particular event, let ballot distribution know and they may help you find a better option. We ask that you not judge the same student in platform or interp speeches or in debate and moot court more than once. Since limited preparation speeches are unique to each round, it is acceptable to judge limited preparation speeches as many times as you would like, as long as you do not have a close relationship with any of the students. For each speech round, one judge will be asked to serve as the head judge of the room. If you are assigned to be the head judge, read and follow the instruction card carefully. For platform and interpretation speeches, the head judge will time each speech by simply starting and stopping the timepiece. The timepiece will face the judge. For limited preparation speeches, pay close attention to any instructions regarding the topic cards, timing prep time, and timing each speech. Unlike platform and interpretation speeches, the timepiece should be visible to the speaker during limited preparation speeches. In the interest of fair competition, NCFCA places a high value on our rule structure. If you observe something that seems to be a rule violation, bring it to the attention of our compliance staff. This is not meant to punish a student or get them in trouble. If a student has misinterpreted a rule, it's best for the student to know as soon as possible so that they can correct the situation and come into compliance. Alternatively, you as a judge may have misinterpreted a rule and what you think may be a rule infraction is really not. Never adjudicate a rule on the ballot. In debate, you should evaluate the round based on the information presented by the two teams. Don't include information you know from an outside round, such as arguments from a different team or your own knowledge base in your decision. In doing this, you may find that you will need to vote for a plan that you would not vote for in real life. You should, however, include these details as points of information for the debaters to consider. Your opinion and insights help them to improve their case as they consider other details. It is important to know that you might vote for a debate plan in the round that you would never vote for in real life, based on the merits of the round, and it is encouraged that you do let the students know that in your comments. We need your independent feedback. Please don't confer with other judges as you make your decisions and/or rank the students. Asking seemingly benign questions to other judges about a performance can unintentionally introduce bias or questions and sidetrack the judging process. You also should not share information gained while judging with any students until the tournament has concluded. As a reminder, you should watch both the speech and debate judge orientations prior to judging for additional insight and specific details. Students, it's the day you've been practicing for. A few details to keep in mind include paying careful attention to the tournament schedule. About 15 minutes before each round begins, a list of competitors and room assignments for that round, called postings, will be displayed in a number of locations throughout the facility. It is your responsibility to refer to the postings each round to find where you are assigned to speak or debate. As soon as postings go up, you should report to the competition room. Wait patiently at the room if another speaker or round is wrapping up. Do not go watch your friends before you compete. We don't want our judges to have to wait for competitors to come and speak. The list of names on speech postings is not in assigned order to speak, with the exception of extemp. If no one is waiting, it's your turn. Debate rounds begin as soon as postings go up and the judge arrives. The only exception to this is when LD debate is flighted. This means that half the LDers go first in flight A and the other half start approximately 45 minutes later. If you are in flight B, you should be waiting by the door when flight A ends to be ready to start on time. One additional note about debate. If there are an uneven number of teams competing, one team will be given a bye and will not compete that round. The bye is indicated on the postings as such. Do keep in mind that tournament attire is required at all times when you are competing and during the awards ceremony. Between rounds, or if you've finished competition on a particular day, relaxing your attire to business casual is acceptable. Casual attire is only acceptable during check-in or social activities. Debaters, this season, you are responsible for bringing your own timepiece and for self-timing. A timekeeping worksheet will be provided for you to keep track of the round. Carefully review the timekeeping section of the debate rules and make sure that your timepiece is in working order before the tournament and before each round. Please use the tent card you receive at check-in throughout the tournament to help your judges identify you and your speaking position. You should also plan to write your name in the appropriate space on the judge ballot box before the round begins. At the end of each round, we ask all of our debaters to help reset the rooms for speech and when the debate ends. If you need direction, a communications staff member will be close by. For our junior competitors and siblings, we have not forgotten you. We are excited to implement an incentive program for tournament attendees ages 6 to 12. Our goal is to encourage purposeful activities for our junior attendees, understanding the benefits for our future competitors when they are engaged in the tournament. During the first morning's announcements, your tournament coordinator or regional director will share the details about the fun that's being planned. We are truly excited to get started with another fabulous season. Competition is a great motivator and allows for us to sharpen one another, as Proverbs describes iron sharpening iron. The competition in and of itself is not the end, but rather the means to training students to communicate effectively for God's glory. On behalf of NCFCA National Staff, we look forward to seeing you at a tournament this